All right, welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in today to our webinar where we're talking about the best ways to automatically sync your inventory across all the different systems you have. So today we're here to discuss how using particular back office order management and inventory management systems can ultimately help you get your orders out of your door faster and into the hands of your happy customers while you keep your inventory intact across all the different channels. And of course, doing all of this with as few issues as possible. So a few housekeeping items. I've started us recording, and this way for anyone that tunes in after we begin, or if any of you want to review anything that we go over today, we will have a recording sent right to your inbox about a business day after the conclusion of this webinar. We like to be interactive, so ask your questions at any time. As Erin has found out, there's a questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen where you use that to drop down. You can send us any questions, and myself and my colleague Ian, who I'll be introducing in a moment, we are keeping an eye on that panel as he and I alternate and speak about different items. So as you have questions, go ahead and send them. We're going to be looking at a lot of different things relating to inventory and the system we want to show you. So as you have questions for how it relates to your business, go ahead, ask it. As it makes sense, we'll cover it. And of course, we're leaving some time at the end for Q&A. We've also uploaded a data sheet for you to download, which is just a number of different things about our inventory and order management system. Now, you don't have to grab it right now, but sometime before the end of the presentation, go ahead and take a look. And of course, we'll be talking more about that today. So let me just take a moment to discuss who we have with us today. Sitting across from me is my colleague, Ian Owano, the Director of Product Management.
Thanks, Robert. So again, Ian from Freestyle Solutions, been with the company about 12 years. Been leading different teams. So I started with the implementation team and then the support team. And now I'm currently leading the product team, helping design and put out new features for our product suite.
Thanks, Ian. Now, who's this other person that's been talking? It's myself, Robert Yu. I have also worked with the company for about 4 years or so. And in that time, I used to do more work with the product in Ian's capacity, determining what features should be going in next, what are the bugs that we should handle, all the different things that go into managing a piece of software as large as M.O.M. And now I'm handling presentations and webinars just like this one. So we're moving on. We're going to keep things going nice and quickly. And here's just obligatory notes about the company, Freestyle Solutions. It was formerly called Datacomp, a company started by retailers and for retailers. We've had over 30 years of experience building order inventory management software. Oops. We actually invented order management as a software category back in 1985, and we're trusted currently by over 2,000 live customers. This slide that you see here is just a representation of the 2,000 customers using M.O.M to power their business. You can tell that it's you can see here that over 15 industries are represented, including apparel, sporting goods, foods, fulfillment houses, and they use our flagship order and inventory management software to automate their order processing. Again, more on that a little bit later, but just an obligatory introduction for who we are and why we're speaking with you guys here today. Here's the agenda. We're going to talk about 3 major things. First, inventory challenges. So over the 30 years that the company has been working with retailers and e-tailers to help them with their businesses, we've encountered a number of recurring inventory challenges that we want to talk about. Then we'll look at inventory and order management. So basically, you have these different inventory challenges. What are some of the things we can do to eliminate some of the problems entirely to minimize wasted time, energy, and resources? And then, of course, we'll have a bit of time at the end for open Q&A. So any of the questions that you don't ask during the course of the webinar, this would be a great time to let us know what you want to discuss. Of course, we will be showing and demonstrating some product features as well, so this is a good time to take anything that isn't related to stuff we talked about earlier. So here's a preview of the 3 inventory challenges that Ian and I actually want to talk with you guys about. The first is managing multi-channel inventory coordination. Basically, when you sell across different sales channels, how do you coordinate your inventory across all of them with as few issues as possible? The second challenge we're going to look at is around inventory purchasing and receiving. So as you are making sales and you need to purchase more inventory, how might that process look like? How does your receiving process look? And are there ways that we can streamline that process to save you time? Finally, we're going to wrap up by looking at complex inventory management, and specifically within your business, within your warehouse, how are you managing your inventory? Whether you have a garage operation or you own a 40,000 square foot warehouse, there are a number of inventory management challenges that come up that we think you can anticipate and do something about. So without further ado, let's keep things moving and look at the first challenge, multi-channel inventory coordination. So the smaller businesses that we work with, they usually offer their product on at least one, if not two channels. So let's imagine their own website and a call center, or we still have people that use mail order catalogs and then a call center. Now, our larger operations can easily be juggling 4 or more different sales channels, especially as they continue to grow and expand. So for now, let's imagine that you are offering your products on your website. You have a small call center, or at least someone taking phone orders and providing basic customer service, and maybe you've played around with eBay, you've experimented on it a little bit when you started, and now you're expanding to Amazon, of course, the juggernaut of online. So what could this mean for your inventory, Ian?
It means you have to make sure that all your inventory levels are aligned and accurate across these different channels, and that could be a daunting task if you don't have the proper tools or systems behind it.
Exactly. What we found is each additional channel you add multiplies the amount of the amount of potential problem points that you have. So without a single point of coordination, keeping your inventory up to date across these different channels, especially more than one, it becomes rather complicated and, as Ian mentioned, even daunting if you're not sure of the best way to do it without repeating things across different systems. So that's where inventory and order management systems like our own Freestyle M.O.M could come in. M.O.M is designed to be the beating heart of your business, to pump and coordinate the flow of vital information to and from each of these different sales channels, as you might see in this example. Now, of course, this isn't comprehensive. It's not like inventory is the only thing being sent to your website, no order statuses or tracking. But as an example here, when you have a system in the back end to coordinate everything, then rather than having to go from system to system, all of a sudden, you have one point of coordination. Here's a partial list of the most popular integrations in M.O.M that our customers use daily. The great thing is that if you also have favorite systems that you don't see right here, that's okay. You actually have the ability to integrate them if we don't have it out of the box because of M.O.M's APIs, which give you access. We can discuss any of these channels or your channels, your favorite channels that you don't see here later if you're curious. That would be a good time for the questions. Now, before we move on, we keep mentioning M.O.M, Freestyle M.O.M, and what exactly is M.O.M? This is a good time for me to jump out and give you a brief introduction. So say hello to M.O.M. Now, I can't resist. This is just one of those puns that I like to bring up when we talk about M.O.M, but really, Freestyle M.O.M, that stands for Multi-Channel Order Manager. It is our company's flagship on-premise or hosted solution. It specializes in managing and coordinating your orders, your customers, and your inventory across your e-commerce channels. It has the largest feature set in online order management from over 30 years of experience. And it's got a massive range of direct integrations like the ones I showed you, plus a robust API for anything that isn't directly integrated. We actually have a brief 1-minute video to show you that will also summarize the different areas that Freestyle M.O.M actually handles. Let me actually show you what that looks like.
Your online business is growing. That's a good thing. But as orders increase, so do the bottlenecks in business processes. To keep growing, you need to do a better job at managing inventory, processing and fulfilling orders, and keeping customers happy, all while expanding into new channels. That's where M.O.M comes in. Whether you rely on Magento, SiteLink, or another e-commerce platform, take orders by phone or over the counter, sell through online marketplaces, or use a mix of all of the above, M.O.M has helped thousands of businesses streamline and automate operations. From shopping to shipping, M.O.M manages the critical aspects of your business, including essential integrations with carriers, payment processing, and accounting systems, so you can be sure that inventory is always accurate, orders ship smoothly, and your customer service team can respond with confidence. And with M.O.M handling all the complicated details, you'll be free to focus on sourcing new products, finding new customers, and ultimately growing your business.
That's right, and ultimately growing your business. So let's return to the big idea here. M.O.M as the beating heart of your business that pumps these details to and from each of your sales channels. So you guys joined us today to take a look at specifically inventory challenges. Now, you can definitely live without automatic synchronization of your inventory. It just usually means a lot more manual work ahead of you, and that's the kind of thing that we're hoping to show you how you can minimize when you don't need to. So all of this brings us to our next inventory challenge. The things that happen with inventory purchasing and receiving. Here's where we're actually going to take a look right at the M.O.M system, and we'll show you a number of the different things that are possible. So, inventory purchasing and receiving. When you don't have some kind of purchasing functionality that ties into how you manage your inventory on the day-to-day, your purchasing procedure might look something like this. Determining what items are low inventory, first of all, then going ahead to enter the purchase orders, email, faxing, writing, however, communicating this to your vendors, waiting for your responses, and then ultimately updating your systems. Well, the way we think about it, why spend time hopping back and forth between different systems if you don't absolutely have to? We're all about increasing and optimizing your business efficiency so you can focus your time on other things that need your attention. Whether that be to grow your business or to eliminate these different inefficiencies. M.O.M has integrated purchasing and receiving, which means from right within that system, you can create purchase orders, you can order a product, you can receive that information back into the system and update your inventory automatically. Let's actually jump over to M.O.M to see how that looks. So I'll pass over control to Ian right now. Remember, as we're making this swap, as you have any questions about anything that you may have seen, please go ahead and use the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen to let us know. If it sounds like I'm repeating myself, for those of you who've been on the line since the beginning, I apologize for a bit of repetition here, but other people have indeed joined us as we've already started. So I just want to make sure people who come in know exactly where to go to send us the questions. All right, Ian, I see you on my screen. I see M.O.M. Take it away.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Robert. So the first screen that you guys are seeing here is our product offers a forecasting feature where it actually allows you to forecast what you need to actually purchase. So you can see it's going to be based on your previous sales, and what you can actually do in our forecast is different things. You can base it on units sold overall or by units sold by period. So you can actually really pinpoint and adjust the way you want to forecast so that way you have a number that you can shoot for on top of the low levels that you can actually get from our system. So again, we would start off with the forecasting in our system. Once you have a forecast of what you need to buy, our system offers a way to order that product. So at this point, this screen, our purchasing screen, which is simplified and enhanced, where you can actually pick and choose which product you want to actually buy, or you can pick something simple where only purchase products that have back orders. So now you can hit identify the product that needs to be purchased, highlight the product here, and then you have to purchase it.
Now, Robert jumping in for a moment here. So, of course, we're showing you on a demonstration version of our multi-channel order manager, the M.O.M system, with a test company that we've just called the Great Outdoors Company. Naturally, when you get started using the system, you'll have a particular period in which you set up all the different things that you offer. Here, our examples you'll see are a bunch of sample products, including a lot of outdoors ones.
As you can see, as a purchasing manager, this makes my life much easier, right? So I can either do it by my suppliers, I can do it by my active products. I can do it between a percentage low level or requirement. So again, as a purchase manager, this makes my purchasing life much easier, because then I can easily identify the products that needs to be refilled because we have back order against it, or we need to make sure we are ready for our busy season, so we refill the inventory.
So a question that some of our viewers might have is, all right, Ian, so I have my inventory in the system, I'm using it, and when it comes time for me to actually order, to send out purchase orders, like what exactly is it that lets me know when, like how does a product show up under items to purchase?
So basically, based on a couple of things, on this particular one, I have to check for back orders. But again, you can do it by low level, by need, by active products that's been selling between time periods, and specific products by supplier. So there's different criteria that you can use to identify those products that you need to buy. But again, what I showed you initially was the forecasting screen. So in that forecasting screen actually showed me that I need to buy certain products, because based on my sales history from the previous year or period, that I'm going to be selling a certain amount. So I want to make sure that I refill the inventory appropriately so that I can cover all the orders that's going to be coming in.
Great, that sounds fine.
So again, here you get to order the products. You can see some of the purchasing details where our system breaks down why it suggests that you need to buy a particular number. So you can see on the bottom we have a calculation, and you can also have the forecast. So you saw that previous screen I showed you. It'll actually put that forecast amount here and puts it part of the equation, so that you can actually have a number that's automatically chosen for you that you need to buy this. Obviously, you can adjust this as you please. And you can put the expected date here, so that as you create the PO, and I'll show you guys the PO right now, as you can see here some of the features that we have. So you actually, after you create the PO, you can print it, and at this point, if you set up it correctly, our system will email the vendor that you're connected to. So if Robert orders my vendor, he would know that I ordered a certain group of products that he needs to fulfill.
Great.
And so I'm going to show you guys some of the sample purchasing screen that we have. So you can see here, you can review all the products that I bought on a particular PO.
So this is a sample purchase order?
Yes. So you can see who my vendor is and where we're going to be shipping this particular product to our warehouse in Parsippany. So once the orders is completed, or the POs are completed, obviously the next step is to receive that process. So again, under our receiving, we have a bunch of different features here. You can actually receive the product here. We also offer a feature where you can actually do scan and receive. So if you have a scanning device you want to use that way for more accurate receiving, you can do that. But
now, Robert, again, jumping in here, to Ian's point about if you have scanning and you utilize that as part of your receiving process, Ian, over the course of 14 years, has visited a lot of our different customers, and he's seen the way that they set up their warehouse processes, including the receiving. So what would you say is something that you often see? People do really use the scanners at the point of receiving, right?
yeah, so typically they have a receiving station that will host our particular software, the on-premise software, where they have a scanner. So as they receive, they can scan the item and the PO against it, and then they can either scan the whole box and then input the quantity that they actually receive. So you're receiving a box of, let's say, 100 T-shirts, right? You can scan the T-shirts one by one if you'd like, or you can actually just scan the whole box and then receive the 100. So you have different options there. So the receiving function, I want to give you guys a quick view of that.
Great.
So here I can either receive all of it, or I can do partials. As you know, that as your vendor ships to you, they might ship less than what you have, or less than what was promised, or they might ship you the wrong product. But our system handles all of that. You can actually receive partial. You can return to supplier, and you can handle mispicks. So you can misship, so that you can either keep the current inventory the same, or you can remove it from your inventory. So our system has the complex capabilities to handle all those particular scenarios. But here is an example where I can receive all, and once I receive that all, that will actually prompt my system to do what we call process updates to inventory. And you ask, what's that mean? Our system handles back orders. So as you receive products and there's back orders against those products, our system automatically fills those orders for you. So you're not going back looking through your system and finding hey, which one's back order, so I can now try to ship that. Our system does that for you.
Exactly.
And it does it by a first come, first served basis, or you can actually allocate it yourself manually. So let me show you that screen really quick on the process updates. So here, I can actually modify my allocation on the products I receive, or I can just simply process updates. And at this point, it's looking through the system for any back orders and fulfilling those back orders. So there we give you a quick preview of what purchasing and receiving looks like in our system. Obviously, there's much more feature set involved in those things. So if you have any questions or anything specific to your company that you're doing, please do ask so that we can cover some of those extra features. But in general, that's what we do in the purchasing and receiving side of M.O.M.
Great, thanks, Ian. Now, if you turn over presenting control back to me, I'll do a quick recap, and then we'll keep things moving along as we talk about the different inventory challenges. All right, great. So Ian was just showing a quick demonstration of some of the different ways to tackle purchasing and receiving in such a way that you are able to keep inventory accurate no matter what systems you have synced up and no matter what channels that you're selling over. Now, I'm about to go on to one final inventory challenge that I want to discuss, but I've actually been keeping an eye on our attendees, and sure enough, a couple of you guys have just joined us. I just want to point out that we've been recording this webinar, so if you want to catch the first inventory challenges that you missed, we'll be sending a recording right to your inbox within a business day after the end. But for now, as you have any questions that come up, please go ahead and send them over to us using the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen. So, there's one final inventory challenge we want to talk about today, and it's simply how you manage your own inventory. Without a dedicated system to manage your inventory, especially one that's tied into the different channels, as we mentioned in that first challenge, you can lose a lot of time, efficiency, and momentum when you're switching among these systems and when you need a lot of manual entry, coordination, and you're checking the different things that happen. So really, that's not what any efficiency-seeking business owners or operations managers are looking for. Well, the inventory features in M.O.M actually help your ease of use. They eliminate manual work, and they free up your time to focus on your other business challenges. So this is just a partial look at some of the things that M.O.M can do when it comes to inventory management. I won't read through them all, but take a look at this list. When you look at it, do you see any items here that you're curious about? How does it apply to your particular business challenges? Or how might you handle it with your operations? Go ahead, use the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen, and tell us something that you want to see. We're actually going to start off by showing you some select items that we want to show, commonalities that we know most businesses that work with us do, and then we'll show you anything you're curious about. So I'll step back and be quiet for a moment here while you take a look, and then we can talk about anything you're curious about. All right, some questions about people joining in a little bit later. Yes, not to worry. We are recording, and we will have the recording of this sent out right to your inbox a business day after the conclusion of this webinar. So where we are right now is we've been talking about a number of different inventory challenges that we can tackle. We're asking if, as you look through this particular list of features, a partial list of inventory purchasing and receiving features, are there any items that you'd like us to actually dig into, or questions as it relates to your own inventory management challenges and problems? Go ahead and use the questions panel on the right-hand side of your screen. It'd be great to hear from you guys to see what challenges specifically you're facing. Go ahead and let us know. Again, I'll give us another minute. Currently, we've got 6 of us in here, so surely someone might have some kind of question. Ann, Jordan, Michael, Seth, I'm looking at you guys. What's something that brought you to the webinar today? Just pure curiosity? Any kind of inventory challenges that you're facing right now? While I wait for you guys to actually think of some good questions, I'm going to turn the presentation controls over to Ian again, who's going to show you some more about the details right within M.O.M. And then as questions come up, of course, go ahead and let us know. All right, looking good, Ian.
Perfect. So the screen you guys are currently seeing here is the stock maintenance form. So the first thing I want to show is that in relation to Robert's screenshot there where there's a bunch of boxes that's disorganized, our system will have you can actually have bin preferences and bin numbers so that you can actually be organized. So you can actually have something like A1-S3 -R2, which means R1, shelf 3, and rack 2 if you want. But you can have your own naming convention so that you can easily identify the bin, so all the warehouses are organized. Within each bin, you can have multiple bins per product, and you can have preference for each of those. We also have a feature that allows you to auto-replenish. So in most warehouses I've seen, as visited different clients, they typically have what we call a pick bin and a bulk bin, where the bulk bin is where you receive the inventory, and you have a pick bin where that's where you actually pick from, so that you replenish that bin from the bulk bin. So we do have the functionality in M.O.M to, when a particular low level is hit on a particular bin, you can take a certain number of quantity and then automatically transfer it back to the pick bin, so that our system keeps track as you move inventory back and forth between the different bins, or in this case, different warehouse if you'd like. But under the supplier tab in our stock maintenance, you get to actually put in the different what we call purchasing levels for your vendor. So in this case, I have one. This is for supply called data, and here you can actually input how much we need to buy in order to generate a PO for the supplier and the unit price. What I want to point out here is the feature set on this one is equivalent SKUs. So if you're buying cases from your supplier, you can actually have a conversion for that, so that it'll automatically add that conversion to one or whatever you want into the inventory when you receive it.
Thanks, Ian. Now, Seth actually does have a question. He's mentioning that their business challenges, they receive inventory a lot faster than they can process it. So they have a lot of different product types, and their process right now is very manual. He's curious, how can M.O.M help them speed up the sorting and organizing of those products?
Once you receive it, as it gets into the system's automatically going to update all the inventory levels in the system. So as far as speed up the sorting, organizing the product, it's how you want to name those products and how you want to organize it in the bins is really the question. So there's going to be some setup time that you need to invest in there in the front, but once it's set up, it should be much faster to find this product or put the products away once it's been organized properly.
So I always like to get a little more specific to help bring the points home. Seth, if you can let us know, for example, what are the general types of products, and then what's something you're doing now, just let me know in bullet point form, and then Ian can probably take you even more specific. I don't know if you had been with us when Ian was also talking about how many of our customers actually use scanners during the receiving process, and they find that speeds things up immensely.
Yeah, another thing I want to add is part of our receiving process, or actually part of our purchasing process, is that you can assign a bin to receive it in, right? So as you actually get receive that product in the warehouse, that's automatically put to a particular bin already. And at that point, we know where to put that particular product away. And then if you wanted to sort it, you maybe want to elaborate on exactly what you were looking for, sorting and organization of the particular products and how you want to do that. But there's definitely tools and feature sets that can definitely help with that, help with speeding up the process.
Let us know if that provides some more context for your question, Seth.
But just to point out what's, the question here, we do support a variety of different types of products. So you have a size color, if it's exempt, if it's a composite, which is kitting in our system, breakouts, fractional quantities, products that had lot numbers,
The reason Ian's pointing this out is because, as I mentioned in the start of the presentation, with over 2,000 customers across 15 plus industries, you can bet that our customers are selling a ton of different items. Right now, off the top of my head, I recall in a given week, we will encounter and handle questions from customers that sell ammunition and firearms. There are customers that sell all kinds of different foods and perishable items. We have pharmaceutical, nutraceuticals, a ton of apparel, right, Ian?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then we also have like a dedicated subsegment of our customers who do just purely drop shipping, or they're a fulfillment house themselves and they do drop shipping for a lot of other customers. So that's why you might wonder, why are there so many different options for products, for your inventory and products? Well, the products that we have they span the gamut, and that even includes some non-physical inventory, like products that you can download.
The downloadable service items, non-physical. But again, I just want to point out that we have a variety of different product sets that you can set up to kind of support all the different client base that we do support currently. But the main thing I want to point out, obviously on the inventory side, we also offer special pricing. So as you sell the products, you can put in different pricing for it. So we have what we call quantity pricing, or you can have a particular pricing based on the coupon code. So, and you can make it available for the web orders, or both, or none. So it's really up to you on how you want to set that up. The other thing I want to get into showing as a feature set in the system is how to actually, do physical inventory in the system. Now typically that's done once a year in most companies, but our system allows you to do that via our import inventory via our advanced inventory module. What happens is that you can actually select the format that you'd like, and then select that file, and you can then add that inventory or update the inventory in M.O.M quickly. So what you can do is you can do physical inventory in your warehouse, and then copy a particular formatted file and then import it back to our system so that it updates that. So you're no longer doing that one at a time, you're doing that in bulk, saving you a lot of times in the warehouse to make sure that the inventory is accurate in your system.
Now, Ian, let me also jump in here. We're getting a question from Anne, a commentary really on why they're interested. They, in response to my earlier question of what was it that brought them to this webinar, aside from sheer curiosity, and saying that for their business, they actually were looking for a solution for alternative e-commerce systems, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, etc. And they don't currently have an issue with their main website and internal orders. And so I'm curious, is there a question that you have specifically there? It sounds like you're looking to offer your product on these other e-commerce sites that you've been talking about, and you're exploring ways in which that you can integrate them, make that happen. Is that kind of the question you have here? I just want to actually see what's the specific curiosity you have, and then of course Ian and I can actually talk to it. Same for you, Seth, that you've let us know that your receiving is much faster than you can actually process. If you guys are able to provide us with some more details, we can certainly show you ways in which you can handle that, both generally and possibly with our system. So Anne is commenting that that's right. They're not looking to replace their current systems, but they want to find a solution to work in conjunction. So Anne, that sounds like you're looking for something that will help you tie in an additional e-commerce system into what you're currently using. Is that correct? Okay. All right. So I mean, Anne, as you see the different pieces to the system that we're talking about, as you have a specific curiosity or point about how that integration works, go ahead and let us know. I mean, our system itself expedites the connection to any of those channels that you mentioned. We have direct connections with Amazon. We are able to get you set up with eBay. Walmart's actually one of the ones that we've been looking at building next, actually, but we've mainly focused on things like Shopify, Evolution, Magento, BigCommerce, and such. So as you have a specific question about how that can work or not, let us know. Actually, Ian does have some input for you, Anne, on a way that right now, we don't know anything about the systems you're using, but we can provide some commentary on how, something that you might look at.
And I mean, if you're doing your research, you might look to something like Channel Advisor, where they offer a lot of the different e-commerce you want to connect to, and still kind of make that work with your current internal solution. They'll offer inventory syncs and order downloads as well, so you can connect to eBay, Amazon through Channel Advisor. And what they typically do is they funnel that down to your system so that you can still input that, or somehow integrate it to your system so that you can keep records of all the orders coming in and where they're coming from. So I would maybe research Channel Advisor and see if that's a good fit for you.
Yeah, we suggest this because based on what we're hearing from what you're doing so far, they're one of those options. They're a service that specifically focused on helping companies who have something set up build a connection out to something else like what you're talking about. So maybe that'll be of help. So do let us know. All right, so now back to you, Ian, to talk about a couple of other items.
So other features that we have in the inventory side is we can actually adjust inventory in the system, and it's pretty simple to do it. So you can actually select the products that you need to adjust, in this case this, and you can simply say, currently have 100, I want to add 10 more to that, and I can save that, or I can simply say negative subtract 10, so as you're changing those figures, you can see it's automatically being adjusted and what it's going to be and what warehouse it's going to be saved at. So once you do that, it will update the inventory, obviously. The other feature here is the adjust unit cost for inventory lot. So if you have different lots, so if you're using FIFO, LIFO, or the average cost, you can actually edit the lot cost per product as you go. In this case, there's only one lot for me for this particular product, so I can adjust the $4.95 to whatever I'd like to reflect any changes to maybe the PO was received at a different cost and there were some issues with shipping, and now I have to adjust the cost for it, so I get the proper landed cost on the M.O.M side. I can easily adjust that over here. And another feature we have, and especially useful on the warehouse side, again, going back to the bulk bin versus the pick bin, I can easily transfer inventory between the bins, or we can also transfer between warehouses if you have multiple warehouses in your system. So some of the features set here that can definitely help inventory in a sense from a bin and warehousing side of the processes.
Thanks, Ian. Let's see here. If you'll pass over control to me, I can move on wrapping up and summarizing a couple of pieces of what we discussed, and then we can jump right back to M.O.M. If anyone else has additional questions here. So, really, we've looked at a lot of different areas of inventory, and M.O.M.'s features have helped a lot of our customers manage and grow their businesses. Today, we just looked at some of the inventory and purchasing management features, but of course, there's a lot. M.O.M also does all of these different things, but that's not what we're here to focus on today. Ultimately, we hope if you step away with a takeaway thought that we've shown the kind of inventory problems you can avoid when you use something like M.O.M. With M.O.M, you can save time and energy, by automating all these different processes. It's a lot easier to scale your business when the system you're using is a single, streamlined, easy integrating management point for all your orders. And ultimately, you can get orders out of the door faster with fewer errors into the hands of your happily waiting customers. Well, this brings our time together to an end. Ian and I are happy to use our remaining time to take a deeper look at any questions you might have. So while you're looking and thinking, I'll just leave our contact information here for you. It looks like the majority of our questions have been answered. Yes, we are recording the webinar, and we'll be sending it right to your inbox the business day after we conclude. Thank you all for joining us today to see a demonstration of Freestyle M.O.M, the Multi-Channel Order Manager, and how it can help with a variety of inventory-related questions and challenges. Feel free to write to marketing@freestylesolutions.com, and we can add you to a mailing list where you can find out of upcoming product demonstrations in different areas, just like this one. Thank you guys for joining us again today, and we hope to see you at the next one.